Well, good morning from Houston, where the searches for people trying to get to shelters from Hurricane Harvey and the floods in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey are still ongoing. As you may have seen in some of the other reporting, the convention center in downtown Houston is currently holding about 9,000 people. It was originally set up to hold 5,000 people. As the searches are ongoing, they're being taken to shelters across the region. One of the places where people have been taken this week are various religious sites, churches, and mosques. This is one of the Islamic centers, the Islamic Center of Greater Houston. And we'll just take you inside for a look around. Many people have left for the morning for Eid prayers, which have had to have been taken place in a nearby high school because there was an overflow crowd, both because of the religious holiday, which is being celebrated around the world, but also because the Islamic community here in Houston has opened their doors and really reached out to the local community to try to bring people in to their facilities to provide them shelter, food, basic necessities, shampoo, toothpaste, that sort of thing. Just watch your step coming up here. And I want to introduce you to Mr. MJ Han. He's the president of the Islamic Society of Greater Houston, and he can talk to us a little bit more about what the Islamic community has been doing here in Houston to look after people evacuating from the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. If you have questions or comments for Mr. Han or any of the other guests we'll be talking to, please send them. We'll be sure to read them and try to get you answers. But Mr. Han, can you talk a little bit about what work the Islamic community of Houston has been doing to look after evacuees?
Well, we knew that when the hurricane was coming that there are a lot of people who will be affected, and every Houstonian has to play a role. An Islamic community has been in the forefront of these kind of relief work since we are here. So we opened all our mosques in the Greater Houston area, and we said anybody who is displaced, they are welcome to come and stay in the masjid. Many of the mosques could not be used because either the flooding was there or mosque itself was flooded, but at least 10 Houston area mosques were open for people to come and join. 6 of them were under IGH administration, and another 4 which are our affiliate in Houston area.
And it wasn't just members of the Houston Islamic community who were staying here. The door was open to anyone.
No, absolutely not. I mean, we opened the door for anybody who was affected. We did not, even in emergency and even otherwise, mosques are always open, and we always welcome everybody to come and feel prayers or want to have some peace time, quiet time. But especially in case of emergency, we are serving humanity. We are not serving Muslims. We are not serving only this group or that group. We are serving humanity. And we are doing it as part of our faith. Just like we are required to pray 5 times a day, we are required to fast 1 month a year. Serving the humanity is part of our faith, our religious obligation.
Linda writes, that's great. Community spirit knows no difference. Just love and care for the fellow man. And that seems to be the real sentiment that you guys are sending along.
That's the message of Islam, that God created man for one purpose and for one purpose only, to serve and care for all of the Lord's creations. And that's what we are doing, and we are, our work is not done yet. We're going to be part of the relief efforts. We will be part of, because this will go on for months and months, maybe for years. And Islamic community now, all across America, the Muslims have united, and they're going to make a joint effort to work towards the relief efforts.
Let's keep walking and talking, and I'll let Jonathan just come around the front here if you can. The other thing that's going on right now for Muslims around the world is Hajj, and today is Eid al Adha, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
That's presented a particular challenge for you guys because you're having to balance observing those holidays and looking after the evacuees.
Well, there was no challenge. Eid al Adha is the Eid of sacrifice. We commemorate the sacrifice made by Prophet Abraham and Prophet Ishmael. And this is the day. So this is a day of sacrifice. So we are supposed to sacrifice. We made it clear that our mosques are hosting the families who are displaced by Hurricane Harvey. The people who are coming to pray, they can come and pray if they find a place, but they cannot move any of the families, they cannot disturb any of the families, and if you have to pray in the parking lot out in the heat of Texas, we'll do pray outside. We were so lucky that in this area we found a school, but other mosques, they prayed in the mosque, but some places were not available like they usually do, so they accommodated and went outside in the patio or wherever, because it's important for us to treat these people who are displaced with utmost respect and treat them as VIP guests.
There's a couple of comments coming in. Helen writes, thank you for being part of the inclusive change we want to see and being the change we want to see in the world. And Chris, who is from Central Texas, asked to tell this gentleman thank you for spreading the love and a good message. One of the interesting things you just said and you told us over the phone a little earlier is that, and we'll keep walking inside, is that you told members that if they're coming here to observe Eid, be prepared to pray in the yard, pray in the parking lot if they needed to. Explain that a little bit. I mean, that shows how you guys are balancing.
Well, I mean, look, prayers, what's the purpose of offering prayers if the prayer does not include you sacrificing for others? Or just every religion has this, that you want to treat others as you would like to be treated. So, yeah, we can pray anywhere. We don't have to, pray in a particular mosque. We can pray outside. We can even pray at our home, But important thing is to make sure that people who are here, that they have lost everything. It is heartbreaking stories. They have lost their possessions. They have suffered. Some of them have lost their lives. So for trauma which they are going through, this is no sacrifice for us, for us to, give up our mosque for a few weeks, if that's what it takes, or even longer. But more importantly, we now have to stand up to the challenge of relief work. Every Muslim, I appeal to every Muslim to open their hearts, open their pocketbook, and support the relief effort. The governor has said the relief effort will be $125 billion. I wish all the Muslims can just take care of that. But we have to do our part, and we have to be more generous than any time during the year, because this is the time of need, and God Almighty will be pleased with you if you're part of the relief efforts.
There's sending Paul from Perth in Western Australia sends his regards, says all the best. Can you just show us very briefly what's going on? People are preparing for Eid here.
Well, every Eid, people meet with their families and with their loved ones, but this Eid, a lot of people are coming to meet with the families who are displaced here. So a lot of families who are here, people want to celebrate this day with them.
Mr. Han, thank you so much for joining us. Just want to introduce one young woman who's here helping coordinate some of the volunteers. And what's your name?
I'm Husna Qadri.
Can you talk a little bit can you walk us around the shelter and show us exactly what sort of accommodations many of the evacuees from Hurricane Harvey have been receiving here over the past week?
Yes, for sure. So this is the cafeteria, actually. And I actually stayed here for about 3 days. I slept here because, my area was also very flooded, unfortunately. But this is the cafeteria, and this is where we would have our breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And up in that corner over there is actually all the bedding and pillows, anything you would need to, feel comfortable. There's towels, anything you need. It's actually all generously donated by different people, non-Muslims, Muslims, everyone that wants to help out. They just came here and dropped off so much that at this point we were like, please, no more. We have enough. Thank you very much. Give it to someone that actually needs it. We have clothing back in that corner, and we also have bodily things, shampoo, conditioner, things that you would need for keeping clean. We have a whole closet for snacks, just things that kids would want to eat, cookies, microwavable pizza, stuff like that.
You were showing us earlier, so this is actually a school here,
yes.
This part of the facility, and people are sleeping in many of the classrooms that under normal circumstances would be a classroom. Can you take us back there and show us some of that? And talk to us about how packed out this place was during the week.
So this is actually a full-on elementary and middle school, and they're actually about to make this also a high school. A lot of funding has been going into this, and I could show you exactly how the situations are being here and how everyone's having their stay here. Every family gets their own personal classroom and room. So actually right here in this classroom is like a media room for the children. They are able to connect their PS4, their other gaming devices, watch movies. So they're all just sitting in here, having a lot of leisure time and fun. And then if we move on to here, we could actually go look at some of their people's, bedding and their belongings. And
if you have any questions for us, feel free to send them in. One that's coming in from Letitia is asking, have you opened the doors only for Muslims?
No, we have had Muslims and non-Muslims come and feel very comfortable. You know, we are with open hands for anyone to come, anyone that needs help. We are, you know, this is a tragedy. Everyone needs help. This is not just for Muslims, for sure.
We want to, just as we wrap up here, look at one of the rooms where people have been staying this week. Here in the Islamic Center School and Mosque is in the front part. Would typically be a classroom under normal circumstances if a hurricane hadn't shut it down. If you just want to explain sort of the accommodations here just as we wrap up.
Yes, well, this is actually a kindergarten classroom, and see, there's like a whole entire family living in this room. They have a bunch of sleeping bags, and then when they wake up, they pack them all up so they can just sit in here, and then at night they take out their sleeping bags and sleep comfortably. They have their own personal bathroom in every single room, TV, anything you would need is in this room, and anything else you would need would be outside. You know, it's actually great because there's so much privacy, and you know, it just feels like home. It almost feels like staying at a hotel. You know, we have been very spoiled here, you know, so I really just want to touch bases on that and say that, you know, we are really thankful for, you know, the environment we've been having here.
Just as we wrap up, one last question for you. The convention center continues to be packed with people. How long are you prepared to look after people here?
I don't have a exact answer for that, but I would assume, you know, based on what, you know, they've been telling me, is that until schools are going to be restarting, because, you know, this is a real school and they will have to, you know, eventually use this, you know, for the kids that are, you know, need their education. So I guess that's going to take a while because most people around this area, their houses are flooded, unfortunately, and, you know, the staff members are also not able to come and teach at the moment because of, you know, their own personal problems. But
the teachers can't get to their own homes.
Yeah, the teachers, their houses are flooded as well, and, you know, they're having problems because of the hurricanes. So until we can get everything together, I guess we're open for anyone to stay here.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Just as we wrap up here, as I was saying at the beginning, the searches are ongoing for people in the Houston area who are evacuating because of Hurricane Harvey and the floods in the aftermath of the storm. Downtown here in Houston at the George R. Brown Convention Center, there are 9,000 people who slept there last night. The facility was originally built or set up for just 5,000. This is one of the many shelters that has opened up in the region. And this is the Islamic Center of Greater Houston. If you want to continue following our coverage, you can follow it on bbc.com/news, on TV, and on radio.